Yeah, it's interesting the way you talked about the way you framed the Web 2 discussion is like you either lose control over your data and you get bombarded with ads, or if the platform decides they can make more money by charging you, they charge you, and you either lose money from paying the service fee or you get hit with ads. It's like, yes, there's obviously a lot of benefits that come with using services like Facebook and Twitter and Google. These things have been great for the internet. I don't want to diminish that, but you're on the losing end on both sides when it comes to either getting hit with ads or paying. Uh, and I wonder if Lightning can flip the entire script to the positive side, meaning like if you had opt-in ads, privacy first, no, by default there'd be no ads, and only if you wanted to receive ads, you could then use some of these open standards, like you talked about, Albie. You could use some of these standards to then earn from the ads. So if you want to give advertisers access to your own data that I guess you could store in theory on a node or some personal server, you could then give that data up for in exchange for money. So by default, you either have no ads, which is a great experience and an improvement over Web 2, or if you want to see ads, you're going to get paid for them. So it's like a total opposite shift there. It feels like that's a very powerful transition that we could go through. What are your thoughts on how we might get to that moment?
I think the whole approach of having like incentivized advertisement or like incentivized views is something that is very interesting, and advertisers leverage that today, right? It just doesn't happen on a monetary standard. When you look at Web 2.0 currently, or like legacy advertisement, let's say, there's incentivized views when it comes to mobile games, for example. It's like, you want another life for your mobile game, then watch this ad. This is basically incentivized, right? Now, I think it would be a lot more efficient if we would say, hey, by the way, if you view this ad, we earn $5 CPM, for example, and we're going to give you 50 cents CPM of that, because actually your attention is what we are buying. And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly right. That is what's happening. Like the advertisement is a trade for attention. That's what the whole thing is about, and that's why in like 10 years ago ads were so flashy as well, because they tried to steal the attention from the user from that site. But now if we have that transparency about like monetization, and we say to the user, hey, by the way, if you give us more data, if we are able to target more accurately, you would earn even more. I think that would be something that would work very great. Now the question is, how do you prevent fraud in that situation, for example? How do you make sure that the data that the user provides actually is accurate, and that they syllable attacks, for example, that they don't like create like 1,000 accounts to earn even more and stuff. But there's definitely like ways I could imagine that would work, like probably tying the return to a conversion, for example, to say, hey, if we see that your account doesn't convert or you don't click or whatever, right? And also there's like great algorithms that try to detect ad fraud nowadays. So I think there's definitely like models that could work with that. And also regarding the whole GDPR topic, there are also already today, there are companies that try to do advertising more privately, right? That try to preserve the user's privacy a little bit better. Not because it's in the best interest of the company, but because European laws require that today. So people start to think about ways, how could we do programmatic advertisement without doxing the user completely and without tracking and stuff. And one implementation, or one way of implementing that would be to have like a private data store in your browser, and instead of actually giving that data out, you would receive a call to your browser that be like, hey, this is an ad for phishing. I don't want to know your profile, but please, dear algorithm that runs locally, tell me if the user you're currently running, if the machine you're currently running on is interested in phishing, for example, right? So that, I mean, like the problem with that, again, with a lot of calls and a lot of data, advertisers could again try to build a profile, but still, it's a little bit better than just openly like having everything in your local storage or like cookie storage. And that the cool thing now is that as I said, that it's an incentivization could now happen without any accounts, right? It could happen in your Bitcoin wallet. That Bitcoin wallet could be the identity. Like we could use private and public key pairs to have that whole like browsing identity. And I definitely think the way of opting into advertisement and putting your interests out actively would increase the efficiency for the advertisers as well. Because now we only talked about the user side now, but to be honest, the advertisement experience today for the advertiser, for the brand, is not a good one as well. Because I want to, if you use Google services, everyone should like go to their, I think it's like Google, I have to look that up, but there is a site where you can see your personalized ad profile with Google.
Yeah, like see what data Google has collected about you, right?
Yeah, it's like it gives you like, depends on how long you use that service, but like it gives you like 50 to 200 categories you might fit into. And it's very funny how inaccurate the data is. Even though even if you use YouTube and if you use Google services a lot, that is very inaccurate. And that obviously is a big problem for the advertiser as well, because now they get sold, as I said, they get sold a product that promises to deliver a good targeted ad experience, but the data is off. And now the user gets tracked a lot. The data is inaccurate. No one wins. Maybe the middleman wins, but definitely not the user and not the advertiser. And if we switch to a model where the user actively provides information about themselves and about their interest, I think it would be a big win for the user as well, regardless of incentivization, because you would actually receive ads that you might be interested in, which isn't a bad thing, I believe, as long as it doesn't get taken advantage of, right?
Yeah, and as long as you get to opt in.
Yeah, as long as it's your choice, right? As it's your choice, and it's actually like, as I said, added value. Yeah. Then it's a win-win for everyone, right?